All right, Trev. So you remember last summer, when we were talking about the Chicago Bears, and they got Rome Odunze, and they got Keenan Allen, they got DeAndre Swift and Gerald Everett, and all these pieces, and everybody was freaking out. They're going to do this, and Chicago won the offseason. They're going to go to the NFC title game and all this, and I pretty much pumped the brakes on our season predictions and went, not yet. Nope, not going to happen. Not yet. They didn't do it right this time. 2025 now. I think they did it right. I think when you talk about, first of all, just going and getting the offensive mastermind that Ben Johnson is, going and getting Dennis Allen to run a more aggressive defense. I think the coaching moves here, like you mentioned in Vegas with Pete Carroll, I think it's the same idea here with Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen running the show here. And then you talk about, what did I complain about last offseason? They didn't do anything for this offensive line. Completely different this time around when you talk about going and getting Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson in trades and then signing Drew Dalman. And if you thought I was going to talk about the Bears without talking about Drew Dalman in this run game, well, Trev, you don't know me very well in this offseason by this point. So Drew Dalman, fourth best run blocking grade among all centers since 2023, second best outside zone blocking grade since 2023 among all centers. And the only guy ahead of him, of course, is Lions center Frank Ragnow, who was with Ben Johnson in Detroit. So when you're talking about the fit of this offensive line, first of all, they're going to be better in pass protection inside, and it was a problem. We saw him especially picking up blitzes and stunts last year. Joe Thuney was the best pass-blocking guard when he was in Kansas City in the league. Drew Dalman, one of the best run blockers and also a solid pass blocker. Jonah Jackson, familiar with the system. That's really the bulk of it. Got a couple of D-line additions as well with Grady Jarrett and Dio Dingbo, but I think the offensive line, first of all, you want to make Caleb Williams' life easier, you go get these offensive linemen. Now you're set. We'll see what happens at left tackle with Braxton Jones and his injury or Ozzie Trapilo or whatever's going on there. And then you get to this draft, and you go, okay, Ashton Ginty was off the board. Are they going to go D-line? Is it going to be something, not that flashy, or maybe an O-lineman if one of the three is available, and they weren't? And then they just go ahead and take Colston Loveland, who shocked some of us by going ahead of Tyler Warren, but it's actually the right fit when you look at this offense, and we'll talk about Tyler Warren some other time, but third in receiving grade in college football last year, with a quarterback situation that was far less than ideal. Fifth in yards per route run. Here's the fun part. 92.3 receiving grade from an inline spot last year at Michigan. Sixth best in the country. But then you put him out in the slot, and he had a 78.2 slot receiving grade, and that was the second best in the country behind Harold Fannin Jr., who was putting up crazy numbers for Bowling Green. Now, you look at the Bears' tight end room and what Loveland could bring them. First of all, their tight ends in general, third worst receiving grade in the league last year. From the slot, anybody on their team from the slot, as a team, the Bears were 29th in slot receiving grade. And the fun part to me with Ben Johnson and how much he loves his tight ends and how much he wants multiple of them on the field, we saw it in Detroit. I didn't know this till I looked at this, but getting ready for this show. The Bears had the lowest graded offense last year when they were in 12 personnel, one back and two tight ends on the field. That's going to change with Colston Loveland, with all the things that he can do out there, and Cole Kmet as a more traditional inline guy. Ben Johnson is completely building this offense in his image, and there's nothing more that he could do. Getting Loveland, getting Luther Burden also in the second round, there's nothing more that he could have come in and done to make Caleb Williams' life easier. At this point, I look at Caleb Williams and I go, look, if you can't succeed with this, there's a real problem here, and it's not going to be with all the other guys. This could be a top F offensive line in the league. This could be a top 5 receiving core in the league now with Odunze and Burden and then Loveland at tight end. The running game, the backs is at least a rotation of solid backs. Obviously, Swift, Roshan Johnson. They got Kyle Monungai in the 7th round, but I think you look at this offense on the whole and you just go, look, Ben's got all of the flexibility to call anything that he wants, and Caleb just has to go out there and execute, and I don't think you could ask any more from a young quarterback than that.
No, I agree with you. I think that Chicago, I know the jokes are out there. Hey, offseason champs, once again, they haven't proven anything. But it's hard to not look at what the Chicago Bears have put together over the last 3 or 4 years, really, just to get to this point, and think that you shouldn't have faith in them. Honestly, if Chicago can't win with this group over the next couple of years, the franchise really might be cursed. I mean, you have everything. In a salary cap type of league, what more could you possibly want? You got the Heisman Trophy winning #1 overall pick. You got the most coveted head coach. Oh my gosh, that one of the most coveted head coaches that we have seen become available in the last 2 decades. You fixed the offensive line in theory with a lot of the additions that you have made there. You have the weapons. The defense has played fantastic. Now you've got a veteran defensive coach in Dennis Allen. Like, it is all there for them. It really is. And so I've famous last words. I've got faith in the Chicago Bears. And honestly, outside of them just, not being able to be a team that could get it done, when you look at this team on paper, the coaching staff, the roster, it's hard to not be. I'm excited for this team. I can't wait to watch the Chicago Bears this upcoming offseason.